Michael, we're talking about fasting. You wrote a book called Fasting, Rediscovering the Ancient Pathways. And, in this book, one of the things that I think is so helpful is that you have a whole chapter on the practical side of fasting. Of course, there's the spiritual side, there's the soulish side. We've talked about those things in depth. But talk to me a little bit about the practical side. Give me a little, of course, you can't say everything right now. That's why you have to write it in the book. But just give me a little taste. What kind of practical wisdom did you put in the book that will really help people as they go into seasons of fasting?
Sure. Let's look at, if you're waiting for the most opportune time to fast, it's never going to come. Mm-hmm. Fasting is something that you're either going to have to commit to or you're never going to find a way into. There's always going to be a birthday party. There's always going to be a social gathering. Not until you start fasting are you going to realize how many people want to take you out to dinner and pay for your meal. Your mom is going to make your favorite meal and invite you over. It's there because there are practical challenges to the discipline of fasting. Yeah. Point two, let's say fasting is not always going to be easy. Yeah. Just because we say yes doesn't mean there's all of a sudden going to be this glory bubble that we walk into that's going to keep us from all of the things that our body's going to go through, how we're going to feel, the mood changes, the fatigue, the hunger pains that are going to come on us. These are just going to be the natural prices we pay as we respond to the invitation.
What about things like detoxing? You talk about that?
Yeah, for detoxing. I think understanding that detoxing is a part of fasting sets many people free. Mm-hmm. Understanding that my body is going to detox.
And what does that mean? What are some of the symptoms of that?
Some of the symptoms of detoxing, meaning that as I'm fasting, I've now removed things that I'm normally putting into my body, like caffeine, like sugar. The removal of caffeine and sugar, for those of us that have a high dose of caffeine or sugar on a day-to-day basis, there's gonna be a pretty hefty price to pay sometimes. Mm-hmm. If you drink a pot of coffee in the morning and you all of a sudden cut a pot of coffee, there's gonna be a price to pay. You're gonna experience bad migraines. Your vision may blur. These are just normal things as your body is freeing itself from the control of those substances. So when you decide to no longer drink a 12-pack of Coke every day, to no longer, smash, let's say, candy all throughout the day or whatever the case is going to be, the removal of sugar is going to bring about a certain effect on your body. When that starts happening, to know that it's going to happen, I've found has been more helpful to people that just didn't even know to think about those types of things. The fact that I am going to, when I remove and start to detox, everything from headaches, stomach pains, fatigue, a film that you get over your tongue and on the interior of your mouth. I mean, the most horrible breath you've ever seen in your entire life. I mean, just irritability, mood swings, all of these types of things are natural reactions to your body freeing itself, detoxing.
Yeah. What about breaking a fast? Like you talk about the right and the wrong way to do that, because I know that's a thing that people struggle with, and sometimes that really causes problems.
Yeah, what you find now to classify different types of fast, if you're doing an absolute fast, absolute as defined in the book would be the removal of water and food. Under strict encouragement, I would give you not to enter into this type of fast unless you know you've heard from the Lord and unless you have cleared it, in many cases, if you see doctors regularly, with a doctor. And never to go longer than 3 days, which is what we find in Esther's case. Mm-hmm. A liquid fast can be smoothies and juices and broths and water and sometimes coffee and all of these types of things. A liquid fast, or let's say a sun up to sundown fast, because the way you break a fast is important according to the type of fast you've been on. If you've been on a liquid fast for several days, even up to 40 days, I would caution you to jump right back into a normal rhythm and way of eating. Reason being, in a liquid fast, your body goes into a ketone state. The acids and the enzymes in your stomach stop producing after somewhere between 10 to 14 days, and the way your body is used to breaking down food is no longer happening. So at the close of a fast, you don't want to put a 20-ounce ribeye in your stomach because there's no way for it to be broken down. You have to give your body time to kickstart again, to get going again. So really walking slow at the close of a liquid fast, of an absolute fast. In the case of missing a meal a day, in the case of sunup to sundown, in most cases, you're going to be pretty good. But especially as it pertains to longer fasts, go low, go slow. The buffet is always going to be there. Your favorite restaurant is always going to be there. I've had some very bad experiences closing out longer fasts because I was unwilling to go low and go slow and to wait it out.
And so you put this section in the book about the practical side. Why did you do that?
I did it because a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
A lot of really bad experiences. A lot of, let's say, fast gone bad, I can say. And there were things that I didn't want to experience anymore. And so I wanted to offer encouragement to others who maybe have found these same challenges as a way to, whether you've never experienced it or whether you have, to be able to find a way to, fool me once, okay, great. Fool me twice, fool me 55 times, eventually we've got to sit down and look at what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I came to. I had to evaluate what I was doing and find practical wisdom to apply to spiritual concepts to be able to find success.